Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second game of the grand finals of the Bleed Out tournament right here on Kissme's channel. And I am Rails Barlow, one of your tournament administrators and one of your shoutcasters for today's match. Once again, looks as though there is an argument going over the server tick rate because we are on the EU server. Healthcare professionals versus Serenity. We've already played the North American game here today. 1,819 points for Team Healthcare Professionals is the lead going into the away game. They are going to have a lot of laggy 128 seconds, what they're saying. My co-caster for this second match is Mr. K3. K3, I am hyped for this second game.
Yeah, I am too. Just given the crazy stuff that we saw in that last game, I'm just, happy that we get to see more Left 4 Dead 2. Hopefully of exactly the same caliber that we saw before, and we are going to be going live here. So, teams agreeing that if there's any hiccups with the tick rate and everything, then they will be switching servers. We do have the same spawns going out here as for the Tank and Witch as they have been set in order to balance things to the maximum. As we know, Left 4 Dead 2 attempts to unbalance things at every possible interval and opportunity. So, Team Serenity down by 1,819 points. They need to make this happen right now. They need to play absolutely amazingly if they want us to close this out.
Indeed, if Team HCP keeps their lead, they will win the Bleed Out tournament. If they lose, we'll go to another series between these two exact teams. Real quick, we're going to do a roster rundown now. Playing on the home server, Team Serenity from Europe. It's going to be Miro, Salte, aka Donnie, Thug Life, and MC. We'll get to the second team after this first hit. Boomer's going to land a single boom out right there. Hunter lands with a pound spit. Nice quad boom going out. Who do we have for HCP, K3?
Well, of course, we have the usual lineup of Dusty, Supra, Bravo, and Purple, who have just been such an amazing force throughout this whole tournament. They've just destroyed team after team after team, and just such a force to reckon with. And they played, especially on the Survivor side, they played so amazingly on that last game, just making the save room consistently with so many points, minus a couple of hiccups, or I guess slightly more than hiccups because people died. If you haven't already watched that match, definitely go back and do that now to get the context for what kind of situation we're running with.
Because
it's a little bit of a complex situation to say the least, and we do have this tank up in the hands of Bravo. And
this is interesting. He's coming from a different angle, and for those who didn't watch the first game, we actually had Team HCP AI their tank on map 1 right here. That was actually Team Serenity taking a lead after map 1 on the away server for them, but now Bravo is very close. He's on first pass 100%, which makes me think Purple went the wrong way in the last server, I'm pretty sure, but Bravo's getting close for a rock right here. Boomer gets a nice double boom. Hunter manages to land a separation pounds as well. How about we take it over to Team HCP, Special Infected Worm, to hear Bravo play this tank?
How about that?
Alright, for now. I guess I'll just decide to kill the Horde and try LOS.
Pushing? No.
We're hitting again?
Yep. Yeah, you should.
Ready?
I am ready.
There's a spawn over here.
I got a spawn. Good.
Back up, back him up.
They're gonna push.
Why are you bringing him closer to me? What the fuck?
Just hug left trees. They're turning,
That made
Good.
sense.
Turn around, turn around. It's fine.
There's like a glitchy spawner here. We
Keep
should
hitting
wait
together,
till we
please.
find a spit. Don't use it till we get a smoker and check
Okay.
and whip somebody.
Ready?
That's it.
Okay, going.
Nah, I found them.
Careful for the push. You're already 1k chip now.
They're all
They're not.
losing.
Weapons over here. We have guns here.
He's close. If you guys can get these guys up front.
I think they're gonna back out. Just,
Yeah, they
just
come
come over
back.
here.
Okay.
He's in my face.
Just-
I am ready.
He's blocking it. Too close.
Nobody can get spawns.
I am ready.
This is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Ready?
Go.
Let's go.
What the fuck?
Let's go. Those aren't good spawns here.
Get a car. This is not working.
Okay.
Weapons over here.
3 cars to the right here. Right here.
This should hit.
I mean, it's probably the best for this area, to be honest, aside from the boomer. Go.
Okay.
Let's go. Go, go, go. Okay. You guys gotta go.
This
Don't
tank
just
is
sit
fun.
there.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. That's a 1-rock tank going out from Bravo in that area. Started off in a pretty far-ranging position in terms of how he wanted to play that, you know, staying off in those bushes, keeping the survivors in his sights. They managed to get one good rock hit, but then on that commit K3, he could get nothing.
Absolutely, and you know, Team Serenity's showing us all exactly how you want to play a rock tank, you know, like just LOSing when the hit's down, and as soon as the hit's up, completely just destroying it and getting every single rock. Team Serenity having no trouble shooting any of those rocks out of the sky with their low ping right now, just showing that, you know, okay, you guys had an amazing survivor side on your home server, and now we're going to show that we can do exactly the same thing. As they completely escape that hunter, they instantly clear the jockey, they get it right out of the spit, and this boomer has now nothing. And we're right now, Team Serenity, even though I think Team HCP had the momentum going in this, into this away game for them, Team Serenity's trying to reverse that right away.
Indeed they are. That Tribe is going to slow them down just a little bit. There's still one survivor horde in the back. That is MC. So there's also going to be a witch in the same spot we saw in the last game, of course. This is actually where things fell apart for HCP on their home server. They got someone killed here, aka Bravo, after eating a hit to the face. And now Serenity's going to be forced to do the, I don't know, not the same thing, but going to have to try to avoid the same thing. They're going to be forced to play it a little bit smarter. They are slow playing it, however. Similar to what we saw HCP do, that helicopter is going to come overhead for a split second. It's a Charter, Smoker, Spitter, and a Hunter. So a pretty good hit for Team HCP right here. They just need to see exactly who's going to draw it and if they can capitalize on it or not. And actually, Team Serenity's backing all the way up over this house.
Yeah, Team Serenity probably trying to wait out the audio from this helicopter, to be honest, just because any slight distractions can prove to be fatal for a team. You know, when you have to take everything into account, you don't want anything that could even have a slight chance of interrupting you. We do have this drop round going on here. It will be drawn by Ellis, which is having a bit of time.
Oh, he failed!
No way!
No
Not
way!
again! Okay,
Wow.
so MC got hit far enough away by the witch in order for him to get the crown again, but a very similar situation. It looked like was happening compared to the first game, and now their health bonus is starting to deplete it down a little bit.
Yep, another failed crown right there. He got the second shot, so it wasn't a full in cap, but lucky enough for him, he got hit away. They're going to be able to open up that damage bonus on MC soon as well. Still a good amount of hits coming out here. It's going to be a Jockey, Boomer, Spitter, and a Smoker. Let's see. Boomer spawns up in the front, not going to land that arc boom. Actually gets blown up by the exploding barrel, I'm pretty sure, but they might decide to send the rest of everything once there is another spawn in the queue then.
They're gonna have to bait out this helicopter blade first, though, because I mean, if you walk into that is an instant death, by the way. It looks like Miro's trying to get this helicopter blade to go out, and they don't want to mess around with this at all, because if there's one thing that can spell doom for the survivors right now, a little bit of friendly banter going off between these two teams.
Yeah, and Bravo's calling him on it. Yeah, ultra friendly going out. It's going to be a Jockey, Charter, Spitter, and a Smoker for the next. And by the way, it isn't a death, it's an in cap. I learned that because I ran into it in the scrim. Anyway, we have this hit coming out relatively soon, and the survivors are just baiting their way to the top right here. Charter's going to spawn up. Smoker as well. Smoker gets a pull in the back. Charter is going to get leveled by MC, but the Jockey lands in front onto Miro for some okay amount of damage.
Yeah, that was pretty solid, and the damage bonus is starting to tick down because of MC losing all of his permanent health. And for those who do not know and might have been confused, wait, why didn't the Witch just instantly incap MC and then kill him off? It's because on this config Ace mod, which was relatively recently developed by the community, and especially our men, Kissme and Visor, the Witch does not incap you instantaneously anymore.
We have that Spitter actually getting picked right off the bat right there. Hunter jumping around to the left, not able to land. Boomer does manage to land. The Hunter does land for a split second, but now these survivors are going to be able to keep pushing their way forward. And again, K3, it's relatively easy to hold out on this left-hand side.
Yeah, it is pretty easy. There's a couple of sneaky spawns that the SI can get if the survivors open them up. However, the survivors are all very much aware of where you can spawn. There's this little tiny nook that you can spawn in the back, but I've noticed that both survivor teams block that spawn both times. So, you know, showing that awareness of all the little tiny nuances, even in the custom campaigns.
Indeed, we have another hit coming in here right now. There's a smoker pull going out. Hunter is going to land onto Rochelle in the corner with a spit going down on top of that as well. So that's Donnie going to be taking the brunt of that attack. Smoker and Spitter are both still up. Spitter now does die. And the survivors are not quite able to get inside the safe room yet. There's a burning box stack thing over there that they need to actually have burnt to the ground first before they can get inside. And there actually is still a wall up where they would be usually holding out. Charger is going to be in spawn queue too. Charger, Jockey, Smoker, and maybe another Spitter if they're lucky, because the Spitter did die. Nope, it's going to be a Boomer instead, but they are going to send it here anyway. But there's a nice level going out by Thug Life. That was about to be a 2-cap. Jockey gets M2 shut down as well, and Serenity's brought it on the survivor side so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the destruction of that hit, the box wall thing that has now failed and burnt down to the ground, allowing Team Serenity to walk in here with a 427 health bonus, which is very impressive. Actually, relatively similar to what they walked into on their away server. Yeah, and actually almost identical points. So Team Serenity making an 824-point chapter right off the bat, which is very respectable, I would say. They didn't actually take one full uncap the entire time, and so very solid survivor side play from them. And we're gonna have to see if Team ACP can at least try to slightly replicate the survivor performance they had on their home server.
Well, actually, ACP is going to try not to replicate that, because obviously it was a little bit of an issue for them when they had Bravo die to Witch.
Well,
but
on map 1.
Yeah, map 1, you know, that's actually a big difference, I would say. If ACP, the thing is, in my opinion, they can't rely on making that ground up later in the game when they're playing with that high ping. It's not going to be the same. I think they need to try to keep pace right here. Like, that's what I'm going to look for ACP to do, similar to how Serenity did, but maybe with a little bit more success if they are at all lucky. So we do have Team ACP on the survivor side now. Boomer, Hunter, Spitter, and a Smoker for the special infected hit from Team Serenity. And obviously this early tank here, a little bit hard to play against a rock tank when you're on that relatively higher ping. We will see if Team ACP is going to play it that way or not. There's a single boom going out. Hunter manages to land as well with a spit going down, but not quite on top of anything. But we do have a smoker pull through the spit. Bravo caught in the corner over there. His team is tri-boom. Very slow clear right there, K3. A great amount of damage.
Yeah, you don't usually see any SI hitting inside of this garage at all. But, I mean, Team Serenity hitting inside of there, they got that nice tri-boom, which was able to stop the survivors from clearing that smoke, who had Bravo smoked inside the death spit, getting almost 50 points of damage out onto him. And, you know, you try to be unbiased playing this, but when you're a caster, but this is just such great Left 4 Dead 2 that part of you just says, oh, let's just have Serenity win so we can see more amazing Left 4 Dead 2. But we will have this one move going out here. 2-cap landing inside of that spit. Nice hunt there. And the Jock is not getting clear still. That was a very slow clear onto Dusty, who took, again, almost 50 points of damage in that spit from that Jock spit combination. And we will have this tank for Team Serenity up in the hands of Donnie, who will be walking forward and is not going to be sending this tank AI at all. So I think we're going to keep it right here as we cast the rest of this tank out, but Team ACP already taking a lot of damage.
I want to mention that all the damage they've taken, that was 2 2-2s that we saw go out right there. I think they probably have to change the way they're playing due to the fact they're probably used to the green ping right now, and they need to adjust to playing with that a little bit more of a delay. We do have a smoker pull going out, Jockey going in, Hunter getting speeded. Rock is not going to land, almost connected with Purple's face right there, but now the survivors should be able to LOS potentially a pass off of Donnie's tank right here.
Yeah, there is an extra set of pills by those victim benches too, by the Cactus Garage sign. And so yeah, it looks like survivors are looking for a little bit of chip onto Donnie, but not a whole lot doing there. And Donnie's actually not losing much rage at all. He's doing a very nice job at keeping rage.
Yeah, Hunter, Boomer, and a Charter for the next hit from Serenity, and this is kind of the rock tank we expected, especially after that early damage. If they can get any more damage onto someone on ACP, that would put them into the bleeding zone if they commit their pills. Rock's going to go in, not going to land, gets skewed by Purple. Boomer gets a nice double boom, and the Hunter's going to go and land a 21 damage pounce onto Bravo. There's a Rock going in, Charter takes that survivor Bravo again across the map. There's the clear. Rock is going to land for the in-cap onto him.
Yeah, it was a clutch rock skip by Supra during that, like as soon as that charge landed. But you know, just the fact that the 2-boom landed from that distance with the arc, and then an amazing DP landing onto the survivors too, and then the charger combo at the end with the rock just allowed Team ACP to get a little bit torn apart there, and now they're bleeding out, and their Rock Tank is able to play in the way that he wants to.
Looks like we actually have a survivor on top of the awning right there. He's going to be able to block those spawns above. Going to force the SI to reposition. And Donnie is still doing a good job with this. Obviously, he has over 90% health on first pass. And he's going to move a little bit closer to the survivors right now, but they're going to try to chip him. That's going to bring them out into this open field, which does allow the boomer to spawn and get a nice boom, almost a rock landing there as well. But now HCP are going to kill that jockey, and they're actually going to start running forward to the left.
Yeah, they're actually just completely running away. The car is flying in. That's actually going to slide very close to the survivors. Very nice attempt there by Donnie. But survivors now, they're actually running toward more hittables, and Donnie's still
on the map.
I hope not, because they're gonna have to bench. They're gonna have to fight this tank sooner or later. I mean, they have a chance to send the AI, but they're gonna have to also take.
That's what they're doing.
Oh my god. Okay, this is the kind of thing you expect to see in like a pug or a scrim, but not in a grand finals match of a tournament with $2,100 on the line. Donnie has found a very nice perch for him up top, where he's keeping a little bit of. I think Donnie got stuck.
Oh,
is Donnie
Jesus
stuck?
Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, 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 not like this. Not like this, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so we've gone from playing a rock tank here to ATP saying, we're rushing this tank. He's on like 50%, either that or he just had a moment right there. Did he teleport? Yeah, he teleported. That's going to be a smoker pull going out in the back. He's got his car right there. ATP's still running forward. Here comes the car. Smoker misses the pull. ATP running forward.
The charger.
There's a charger.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. ATP just pushing their way forward right here. Donnie's got nothing. And they're just going to keep running. They're just blitzing this tank. Donnie chasing after them. Hunter spawning in the front. When are they going to stop? Nobody knows. ATP just keeps pushing forward. And now they're going to chill in the yard. They still have Horde. They're going to try to kill him here. Oh, Jesus. I don't know how this is going to go, but he's going to be pushing in with it. And he's going to get his initial corner here onto Ellis. But he punches him into the side. That's a corner onto Bravo. He's down to 2k HP. Melee swing going out. He has 1400 now. This has to be a wipe, right? Hunter's going to go in. Jockey gets M2 and shut down. Hunter is going to get cleared. He's going to miss that punch, actually. There's the pull. Coach is stuck in the ceiling and gets a melee swing, and Donnie is 36 HP.
Oh my god! No way!
Oh my god!
No!
What the hell did we just watch?
I'm actually speechless. Like, this is not faked. I am actually awestruck at what just happened watching this game here. Like, okay. So Team Serenity started out by playing a picture-perfect rock tank. Very nice of them by Donnie there. And I guess Team HCP said, hey, we've had enough of this. We're going to run, but not only run like just to put pressure on the tank and bait him. We're going to run all the way through the map. And eventually they got to a point where they realized that the tank could cut them off. And so they just allowed Donnie to commit with a bit of staggered horde coming in, and Donnie got an instant corner onto Ellis, who was only 2 punches away from incap, and was able to get another corner right after that. And after that, had a corner on Supra, and it looked like Supra was going to get the kill onto the tank because of the melee swings that he could get in between the punches. But no, Donnie just spacing, like, usually you don't see like spacing as much of a thing to play in this game, but Donnie spaced himself away from Supra just so flawlessly that he was able to get the incap onto Supra with that smoke on the last survivor. I mean, the smoker was really the only support that landed for much during that tank, but that's all that Donnie needed. He got 3 incaps all by himself, and that was an amazingly done tank on that really odd situation that the survivors put themselves in. And I'm just extremely excited for the rest of this map if what we're going to see is anything similar to that.
I'm wondering if ATP are screaming at each other right now, because that might have gone a little bit better, but that tank, like I said, they managed to shut down like one of the supports right there and then get the clear. But as you mentioned, Donnie spread himself out right there. And yeah, one more shotgun shot, or even one more, like 2 more pistol shots from a down survivor would have probably been enough to do it. Yeah, or even shooting the flame barrel, right? It would have just been something enough to kill him. But instead now, ATP is going to be losing a little bit of their advantage right there. It was 1,819 to start. So they're down more than you'd expect right now in terms of after that map 1, because you thought they were going to maybe try to match it or have something like that happen. But instead, this is the situation that they're facing, and they are now on the backside of that momentum. So I don't know. We'll see exactly how it goes, but HCP's probably not. They're still having that lead, but they cannot be comfortable at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is where, honestly, where I think HCP's downfall could potentially start to kick in. You know, you see the score tilting towards HCP's favor, but you might also see HCP tilting themselves in Serenity's favor. You know, I've having heard many war rooms and spectated many matches from these players, I am aware that they can occasionally be prone to slight bickering between them. And I think if they let Serenity get in their heads, then I think that's going to really be what could be the game changer here. You know, if Team ACP loses the mental game and their fortitude does not last out throughout the rest of this, then I think that could be what starts to break them down and could potentially lead to Team Serenity taking this first set.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could happen at this point, as we're seeing here. And obviously, there's still a lot of match still left to be played. But that 1,800-point lead, as we saw Team HCP score over 5,000 points on their home server, you cannot be happy with the start here. Again, they scored even less points on the away server now on their first Survivor half, did HCP, than they did on the home server. And obviously, that's usually expected, but because they threw the first map on the home server so hard, there's really two key points, I think, that HCP didn't take advantage of on the last server. And the first part was when they didn't maximize map 1, and the second part is when Purple died map 5. Those two might really come into account right here, because if already, pacing-wise, if Team Serenity can do everything else right now that Team HCP did in terms of making map 2, map 3, map 4, and then also the finale, then they would win this game, I'm pretty sure. They would win the series, because right now HCP is still behind by a certain amount, and you really cannot be happy, because HCP, even though they're on that ping, they're still the players that they are, but Serenity as well. We saw them even in the Hard Rain Downpour matchup. They still had like a 1,200-point lead coming out, so it could be anyone's game at this point.
Absolutely. And, you know, those two situations that you talked about in the previous game that were really where ACP fell apart, those came off of really small mistakes, you know, just like one charger landing during the Witch and all of a sudden Bravo's dead. And, you know, just a little bit of separation. And I think ACP playing the hit a little bit too slowly, baiting a little bit too much, and all of a sudden Purple's dead. And, you know, those things, those little tiny mistakes could just come back to haunt them, you know, and maybe they didn't quite get as many points as they would have liked, even with that 1,800-point lead. Because maybe when you're playing against a team like Serenity, maybe 1,800 points isn't quite enough, and we'll just have to see if it is or not. Coming up here, Team Serenity closed the gap by about 600 points, and they're looking to do more of that.
Yeah, and it's going to be a Jockey Spitter, Boomer, and a Hunter right here. Serenity on the Survivor side trying to keep that momentum rolling. And that tank's going to be at 45%. It's going to be inside there. They're not going to be able to get to the inside area. They're probably going to fight it outside. Last time, they brought it all the way back to the safe room and almost got wiped. And now we do have a pause coming out from Team Serenity once again.
Yeah, so I mean, here's where, like, you know, like slight technical issues and scheduling and stuff comes into play. But we thankfully are going live right away. Hopefully, no more delays will be happening. As I just want to see more good Left 4 Dead 2, because at the end of the day, that's really what I'm here for.
Exactly. That's the fun part of being the cast, is we don't have enough emotional investment into it to where we want one team or the other to win. I don't know about Kissme though. We'll see exactly how that goes. Nice boomer pop going out. Jockey Spitter and a Hunter. Yeah, that spit's gonna go down there. There are two survivors outside, but that Hunter and Jockey have no chance. M2 going out from Mirror onto that Jockey. Hunter getting skied out of the sky, and the purple Spitter is gonna be the last thing up in the queue, and Serenity's gonna push right to the right and probably get this event started.
Yeah, I think so. And we do have this tank which will spawn pretty immediately after the event's over. So I think given how well Team HCP took the tank in this event area compared to how Team Serenity took the tank in the safe room, I think they're probably going to want to repeat Team HCP's strat. But first they're going to have to take this hit, and the Hunter does land on top of that one boom. Charger is going to go here, actually going to land on top of her shell, doesn't get the slam though. Jockey also got shot down, and that's going to be very little damage going on with the survivors. So Team Serenity is still maintaining that survivor momentum from the previous round, going to start this event and then proceed towards the tank.
Right, and then they're going to take this event here, and then as you mentioned last time, like, they saw how well HCP did in this area. I believe they could take it in the same spot. However, it's not always a guarantee, because there is a hittable in play. That's always something that could definitely screw up the Survivor's day. Obviously didn't hurt HCP that much, but I don't think Serenity were prepared to play tank in this area on the last server. We'll see exactly if that changes or not. Hunter gets nice and skied. MC popping the boomer as well. And now we see the green ping play of Team Serenity coming out onto HCP. They can play absolutely monstrously well on their home server as well as HCP can, I would say.
Yeah, you look at the pings on Team Serenity's away server. It's like, oh, hey, they all have orange ping. You know, that can't be that bad. There can't be that much of a difference. But when you're such high caliber players such as this, like just the smallest amount of difference makes makes the really big impact for the survivor play. And I don't see this boomer landing anytime soon. Purple looking for some kind of crazy arc boom is gonna get popped. Charger looking for some kind of crazy charge, but isn't gonna land. But there was a 2-cap that went out onto 2 of the survivors with the Smoker and Hunter, and so pretty solid damage spread going out onto the survivors, and they will be all close to 3 punches, I think.
Reloading.
It'll be close. We'll see exactly who gets the tank for HCP in this area, and now the tank is going to be up for the healthcare professionals into the hands of Purple himself. His tank was AI'd on the last server. I don't expect to see the same thing happen here. Let's take it over to an HCP Special Infected Worm and see how they're doing.
Go, go, go.
Are they going safe from? I can't see.
Oh, no, they're fighting.
Sitting in the truck.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you should go this left fence. Like where the smoker is. Where you had your boomer almost.
Do you want me to go over there? I have sight right now. You guys can get a hit.
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Go ahead.
Let boomer get the spot.
I can't get up there.
I think they're gonna LOS. Now you should
they're
go
LOS.
behind the fence.
Yep.
Don't stop shooting. I'm reloading.
Fucking tree. We'll get a hit for you in a couple seconds.
Okay, I'm ready.
Ready?
Oh, my tongue's up in 2 seconds.
Well,
You guys
we're
gotta
going-
wait and go
Ready
together.
doesn't mean go. What's going on? You ready, Dusty?
Yeah, we should still go.
Let's go.
Let's go right now. You can rotate to the left. There's another hill.
Yeah, over here.
You gotta go forward and then left, yeah. It's fucking invisible shit everywhere over there.
I'm just spawning.
I have sight. Should get another
Sarah's
hit.
ready, Bravo?
I'm ready.
Go
Go.
together.
Yeah, just
I'm letting Bravo say he's ready.
ready. Go. You guys good?
Let's go. Still no.
I almost got Mira. They're
They
gonna
don't
go
got
forward.
They might bait you. They might come. Oh, no, they can't actually.
Send out the track up, that'd be good. They're going forward. They're trying to make the jump.
They're trying to go. Yeah.
They're jumping on the boxes.
Oh, he fell.
There's
they're-
infected
yeah.
ladders and shit, so just do your best.
Full MC.
Let him.
MC. Just jockey.
You can see behind all this shit.
You guys are going, and I like.
Isn't stumbling on me.
That's so dumb.
He had that down,
Just
dude.
waited.
He was alone.
His teammates have guns.
Fine. I'm getting an in cap. Like, use brain.
Should I
Cap
get a
that
hit?
guy all by himself.
Ready?
You guys ready? Let's get a hit.
Yep.
Draw.
That line? Nice. Probably dead.
Like, he should have waited there.
And we're back from that tank. Actually, pretty weird tank, I would say, to say the least, from Purple there. You managed to get that one corner from a nice bait when the survivors pushed forward. But, you know, like, I guess Purple just wasn't finding what he wanted out in the open there, and then it kind of allowed the survivors to find a window to push forward, and they just climb on top of those boxes with this S2 hit them. We do have to say going in here, there's no way that was intentional. There's no way that melee skill by Purple was intentional.
By Miro, I don't know. That was a little interesting right there. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but Donnie took a pretty good amount of damage.
Yeah, he sure did. But, I mean, Survivor's still sitting at an over 600 point health bonus because regardless of how oddly they may have taken that tank, they took it pretty well, and they only took 1 in cap, and they still have 3 with permanent health. So, I'd say pretty overall nicely done by them.
Yeah, and now, I mean, the Survivors are in a nice spot, as you just mentioned. Like, that tank, obviously letting them have the forward area, that's probably where Serenity likes to fight the tank. M2 does go out right there onto that boomer, but then the proxy does land. Charger's going to miss that charge, gets kited around. Smoker Pole does go out, a little bit of spit damage on the Miro as well, hitting that damage bonus instead of the health bonus. And, I mean, now, okay, this is similar to what we saw HCP do, but I think through the first 2 maps, if Serenity keeps this bonus, they'll be in a better position than HCP was. And that's exactly what you could ask for here, especially with that tank being fought outside in the hittable area. And I think they're actually about to make safe room with only 1 more hit. Spitter, Jockey, Hunter, and a Charger, and they're actually right there, but there are some Survivors split in the back. Jockey managing to land right there. Charger a little bit late on the party, though, missing that charge. Hunter going in, trying to land, and is going to get nicely skeeted by Thug Life.
I can't even count the number of hunters that have been skated this game. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, Survivors walking into the safe room, slightly lower bonus, I think, than what ACP had on their map 2 on their home server. But regardless, they are definitely opening up the score right now. And if they maintain the current pace that they're setting right now, they will absolutely 100% take this game and the series and push it on and force a bracket reset situation between ACP and Serenity. And, you know, that's exactly what they're looking to do because they want their shot. They want their chance to face ACP a second time later on.
Yeah, very, very interesting now because I think that making map 1 was the huge part on the home server here that Serenity did that HCP wasn't able to pull off. And right now, that's the position that they definitely want to be in, and if this wipe occurs at this tank, it's going to be relatively tied going into map 3. We'll see exactly how it happens, though, because we're going to be going live HCP on the Survivor side once again. Serenity on the Special Infected, Boomer, Hunter, Spitter, and a Jockey for the first hit from Team Serenity. Let's see how they decide to send it. HCP, again, baiting their way out right here, and HCP have to remember not to get riled at this point. Serenity obviously hasn't let that affect them that much going from the North American game to now because they are playing absolutely perfectly so far, I would say. I mean, yeah, you've got some damage coming out of these tanks and stuff like that, but having a lead like this over HCP on the away server is very, very nice. That Hunter is going to get chipped down to half health. There's comments all over the place right here. Hunter getting chipped more, though, and maybe they'll get the Charger. Indeed they do as HCP start working their way inside. Spit's going to spawn up in the front right there with the Charger. Wasn't ready for that, and HCP are blitzing the hit just a little bit. And yeah, still no hit from Serenity. They're waiting for HCP to get a little bit further forward. Again, that Hunter is relatively weak. Jockey spawning up, Hunter going in, gonna get seated. Jockey going in, Charger's gonna land though, because Dusty was tunneling that Jockey just a little bit, but the Spit is not going to do a whole lot of damage. Still, the charge Spit landing, good hit from Serenity.
Yeah, definitely a pretty solid hit, and you know, I mean, as you said, like, Serenity hasn't lost their composure at all. You know, they went down by a very significant margin on their away server, and they just buckled down and said, okay, you know, they did that, you know, we can replicate their performance, and we can do even more. And if they maintain this performance going on for the rest of this game, then, you know, especially with their SI side doing so much damage to ACP and putting on so much pressure, like this hit that's coming in right now, that actually Charger is going to miss there, and nice ski going out onto the Hunter, as well as the Jock that's going to get a bit of damage down to Bravo, but not a whole lot doing there. And ACP is going to be holding out the rest of this event.
Right, and now, I mean, okay, the tank's going to come from inside to start, but you can also get on that roof up there, as we saw. And then ACP are going to dance around, I think, the outside, maybe, but I don't think that tank's going to let them have the inside area, because the inside area, in my opinion, is much, much better than the outside, due to the fact they can kite all over those boxes, and out here, yeah, there's the hittable and that kind of stuff. ACP made it work on low ping, but they're going to have spawns all around them here on high ping. It's going to be a smoker pull from the side. They're nice heat by Supra onto Donnie. That's a nice shutdown of that 2-2.
Honestly, we should have just started a ski counter at the beginning of this game, because on both home and away, both of these teams have just been just dismantling these Hunters and just popping them out of the sky with absolute ease, and it's really impressive to watch. You know, like you see teams putting individual skills like that in frag videos because they're few and far between, and then like you see these guys just getting them like it's nothing again and again. There was some nice bit damage that went up there onto Bravo and a little bit onto Dusty as well. And so we'll put the survivors at, you know, about 50% health on 2 of their survivors there, and the tank is now up in the hands of Thug Life, and survivors are now running back out to this open area.
Indeed, we'll see exactly where Thug decides to go. Right now, he's just kind of running around in the corner, trying to break a wall. But Smoker, Boomer, Hunter for this hit, and he's now working his way kind of around. I think he's probably trying to find how Purple got up there, and I think he has indeed found it, working his way up the top of these stairs. It's going to put him on the top up here, and indeed he's going to knock down that door, and he's found his way to the outside. Now, again, if he rotates to that left-hand side, that might trigger HCP to push forward. But if he doesn't, that'll be a much better position. But there is a double boom going out. This actually could be the commitment from the tank. He's rotating to the left-hand side. Smoker's up. And indeed, this is the commit coming in. He's going to go for his hittable, knocking him to the right-hand side. He actually knocked down the pylon. He's going to kite HCP to the side. And Coach is very, very near that. He's going to force them into this almost corner. But now the tank is whipping a couple of these punches. He's hitting a barrel right there, throwing a rock, managing to land it onto Purple. Purple is going to get punched right there. Hunter going in. Smoker gets the intercept. And up to Bravo to clear his teammates right now. That Smoker's still going out. Bravo does get both clears. Tank working on Ellis in the corner, but Ellis actually just running him forward. Dusty cutting him around. Jockey going in from the back, managing to land. Tank lands the rock around the corner too. Getting the... Oh, we actually missed the punch. I don't know what ate that punch right there, but somehow it ends up being a good amount of damage and not a wipe, but still great tank play from Serenity.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. I think it was actually the ammo pile, because it does have a physical hitbox, I think, that ended up blocking that punch for somehow. Otherwise, it was just, you know, some kind of odd whiff. But yeah, lots of damage going out onto Team HCP there. What looked like, you know, it started out looking really awful with that hittable, and then they managed to get out of that corner, and it started to look in the survivor's favor, especially with all the kiting going on. And then once Purple went down and they started to get a little bit separated, that's when it went back into the SS favor. We have an amazing 2-cap going out here. Ellis is now pulled in the back. That's a lot of separation. Amazing tri-boom going out there. Rochelle is going to jump off, trying to save his pal Dusty, who did get a lot of damage taken off of him by that Smoker, and now their damage bonus is starting to deplete a lot, which is all they have left because nearly all of their permanent health is gone.
Yeah, this is really looking good for Serenity at this point. And again, Thug Life's tank was able to do a good amount of work. They still have MC and Miro tanks on their side too for these next 2 maps. And barring some kind of turnaround from HCP right now, they are definitely feeling the burn of this higher ping. And let's see now, there's going to be a Hunter Charger and a Jockey. Charger managing to land, but then does get cleared as it completes on the wall. But Dusty's jockeying around the corner. Hunter's going to go and lands the 2-cap into Spit. That's going to be a full in-cap onto Dusty and almost another in-cap going out onto Supra too. That damage bonus getting absolutely schlonged right now, K3.
Yeah, this is just destruction onto the survivors at this point. You know, like every hit now, they're starting to take just a little too much damage, and they need to get their composure back, I think, because I think, you know, the amount that Serenity is outperforming HCP on this server, I think is slightly greater than the amount that Team HCP outplayed Team Serenity on their home server, at least with comparing the first 2 maps. And I think HCP is going to need to step it up if they want to keep their lead. And as I say that, you know, another devastating hit going out onto the survivors. Now their bonus has been completely removed, and they will be down at least on their way server by over at least 1,000 points going on to map 3.
Yeah, it looks as though Supra is just pushing his way forward. He's going to find that Witch around the corner, going for the draw crown, and does manage to get it. Witch did swipe a little bit early at the door right there. Jockey, Hunter, Charger, and Boomer. And this reminds me of how Hard Rain Downpour started on the away server for HCP, where they were just getting rolled by Serenity to start. And now the Charger's going to go and manage to get the end cap. There's the Jockey landing, and another barrel, it seems, exploding, but that did manage to get some kind of odd clear onto the survivors. They're still fighting for every single distance point, and that's what they're going to need to do at this point. They do have one survivor black and white, that is Dusty, as they push their way forward continuously. They're almost at the safe room, and that's what they're going to need to do, is try to make these safe rooms like this, and then they need to get bonus on either map 3 or map 4. Hard Rain Downpour, they were getting rolled by Serenity for the first half of that game, but they made the comeback and then carried that into the North American server. Charger going in, managing to get killed. That's a better shutdown than we've seen so far, but that is still going to be an in-cap onto Purple. They really aren't going to have any bonus to speak of by the end of this.
Yeah, and it's pretty irrelevant, as for the last 3 hits or so, they've had like 0 bonus. It says 1 bonus there, but I'm pretty sure it'll be 0 when they actually get inside the save room. Split is gonna go in here, gonna try to actually get the kill. That's a double incap going out onto the survivors. Jesse still black and white. I think purple also black and white at this point. So, SI going in here, looks like they are gonna get the kill, and Charger from Miro, picking off the last 2 survivors. It's only gonna take 3 points off of them at that point, as the damage was already done. But you know, I've seen 3 points come into play as a factor before, so you know, never assume that any small amount of points isn't gonna make a difference.
Yeah, so it's about 1,100 at this point. It's still a 700-point lead for HCP, but like I said, they need to make that turnaround. They need to get the momentum on their side. Obviously, the tank in this chapter is in a position where that is definitely possible, but Serenity have been playing out of their mind so far. This needs to be like a null. It needs to be like either a wipe, or it needs to be both teams wiping, or both teams making the safe room for HCP's side. If Serenity takes advantage of it, like they did the last time, then they are not going to be in a good position in terms of where HCP is going to be at, and Serenity might win this game if that happens. I can say that.
Definitely, because if Serenity continues to continue the performance that they've had so far on this map, then by the end of map 4, they're going to be in the lead, and at which point it's going to be very difficult for Team HCP to be able to make this back. They've closed the gap by 1,100 points already in just 2 maps, which is already just spectacular. And I mean, I mentioned in the last game that Team Serenity has a chance to learn from their mistakes, which I think they have done so far. But Team HCP definitely also made a few mistakes. They shot 3 ATMs within 2 maps on their last game, and I think that played a big factor into them taking a lot of damage. So I think they're gonna hope to not shoot those ATMs. Hopefully, watch out for a couple of spawns that screwed them over this time, and definitely just learn from their past mistakes and keep going forward.
I assume Donnie is doing the tank spawn thing right now. That would be good. But right now, I mean, like that tank, it spawns an area where the survivors drop off of an event. And from there, that's where the SI can commit in there. Both the tanks, in my opinion, didn't do the, right thing in terms of that. I see at this point that, much more damage should come out there. And I keep saying that. I'm hoping that I'm eventually right. I do need to check the chat log real fast. Uno momento, por favor.
I would definitely say that the shit-talking metagame between these 2 teams has evolved to such a point that I can't even tell what's sarcasm and what's actual smack talk at this point. So, just really impressive banter going between these 2 teams. It's more than I can follow. So yeah, I mean, we will have to go and reverse these tank spawns, because compared to the last tank spawn, an 11% tank is a huge difference. So, as I mentioned earlier, trying to balance this grand finals as much as possible, because, good old Left 4 Dead just wants to mess up any kind of opportunity for a fair game. With witch is glitching out everywhere, and weird props getting in the way, and weird hitboxes registering on ammo piles and guns and whatever it can find. This game just wants to ruin it for us, but we've persevered thus far, and we will be setting these spawns in order to replicate the same situation that we had last game. I'm glad, you have this chance as a spectator to, just kind of fly around here and look at the detail that some of these people put into these maps. You just look at the library books and stuff, and all the little billboards and stuff everywhere. It's just really impressive, the amount of work that some of these creators put into these maps.
I can't believe that I've been scrolling back through chat this entire time, and in every single game, you can just go back and just watch whatever VOD, either Kissme's VOD, Dawkins' VOD, Dusty's VOD. Just go back and look at the map, and then just say the spawns. I cannot believe it's taken me this long to figure that out. I am disappointed in myself. Hit a hit going in though, Jockey's gonna get M2, Charter gets obliterated, and that's gonna be a smoker pull and spit for just a little bit of damage on MC. But yeah, K3. Okay, so now with this tank right here, HCP needs to make something happen, and then Kissme also mentioned in our chat right here that he probably wants to see Team HCP make a safe room. Like, that would be the most important thing.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one thing making safe room, is another thing making safe room with bonus, because, you know, at this current stage, like, you look at last game, Serenity made almost every single safe room, barring map 2. It's just that HCP made them with more bonus. So regardless of the fact that Team HCP makes safe rooms, they need to make it in with some kind of bonus, because if Serenity makes it in with the kind of bonus that HCP did last game, then, you know, they're going to need to start having that kind of bigger performance. We do have to say going in here, trying to delay the survivors from pressing this button. It is going to work out for them for a little bit. Dusty is looking for this pull, and oh boy, would that be a big day if they are able to get a pull out. But they are able to instant clear that tongue from him. Dusty does have his pull up again though, looking for the cut onto the tongue. He doesn't get the tongue cut, but the survivors are just so quick on the clears. There's finally the tongue cut, the unnecessary one finally, and they will get the close on that gate, preventing any kind of sniper shenanigans from happening.
I do have a pullout over here though. Charge is gonna go, imagine now it's double charge landing. Spit going down on top of that. Survivor is separated to the left hand side, pouncing Thug Life over there. Huge amounts of separation and a huge hit going on to Serenity from that.
That hit came out of, it looked like nothing, like just a random ass double charge just landing on the survivors, and all of a sudden the spit goes down on top of that, as well as death spit on top of the hunter. Just a ton of damage going out onto Team Serenity. That's exactly the kind of hit that they need to do, and they need to do that more if they want to maintain their lead. And you know, we saw last time that they weren't able to get a lot of damage going on their side of the tank. Now they're gonna try to just learn from what they did wrong last time on the tank and start doing that damage and hopefully get it wiped.
Yeah, it's a Boomer, Spitter, Smoker, and a Jockey for the hit right here from the healthcare professionals. Spit's gonna go down, Smoker pull goes out, a little bit of damage, and there's a Jockey up top getting M2'd a lot in the corner. Now the tank is gonna be up into the hands of the one only Dr. Dusty for the healthcare professionals. Let's take it over to an HCP special infected worm.
No. I say no to Supra.
Oh, they're opening the alarm? He's opening.
I don't think it alarms unless you go in.
They went in.
Something like triggered it when they were
Can I kill
inside.
Boomer? Give me a second to kill Boomer.
Yeah, go ahead.
Didn't trigger? Okay, thanks K-Ban.
There's good guns in there.
Ooh. I doubt they.
Or maybe it's because the alarm in there, the ATM.
I'm gonna spawn when you go in just to pounce around back out.
Alright. I'm gonna let him bleed as much as I can.
Sounds good.
One dude standing there.
Good damage.
We gotta go.
Oh shit.
What happened to you guys?
I got shot. And I can't do anything about that. Good jam.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, from that HCP war room, and Thug Life ran into that room, which took the tank's attention away from the other 3 survivors. The tri-cap did not land, and they got the single down onto him, but that's the only damage that they took from that. Tank did get another punch right as he was about to die, and yeah, what a slap, that's what they're saying going out. I don't know, but it looks as though Team Serenity's in spectacular position at this point, K3.
Definitely. I'll talk about it after this hit goes in. We do have another charge spit landing onto Serenity, and that's going to take a lot off of their health bonus. Actually, their damage bonus went from 48 to 7% off of that one attack, and now their damage bonus is nearly non-existent. And their health looks identical, but their points was like 200 down just after that one charge spit. So, you know, even just one small hit, showing that it can completely reverse what seemed like a bit of a wash of a tank.
Yeah, now it's going to be a Spitter, Hunter, Jockey, and a Charger going out. They need to start working on the health bonus now, because the damage bonus is practically non-existent. Jockey and Hunter both working their ways in. Charger coming in last. Gonna try to long charge the corner, almost landed it as well, but nothing really going on that hit. Again, easy shutdowns for Green Pink survivors in this area.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, that tank didn't seem like it did a whole lot, but, you know, it did put Serenity in the position where they can start taking points off of this health bonus really quickly. Like, the bonus is now at a reasonable spot that even if they make it into the safe room with this kind of bonus, then it's not the end of the world, and it's not, you know, it's definitely something that they can replicate even with the high bank. We do have this hit going in here. This will be a charge going out onto him.
What a level!
How did he get the level from that far away? It seemed, I guess the hit raise just, you know, going out of the melee weapon of MC fast enough that it caught up to the charger mid-charge and, you know, getting that clear, which could have been a lot more damage out onto Miro, who is their health bonus.
MC right there, you know, that's again the change in Serenity's lineup that they made this time. Instead of having Hota play or having Vex play, it's MC in the lineup across both these games. Smoker Pull is going to miss. Hunter is going to land, however, nice double cap, and the Smoker Pull is going to get relatively cleared, but that's going to be more damage onto Miro. Donnie is holding almost all of their bonus at this point.
Yeah, these hits from ECB are finally starting to consistently do damage and lots of damage. A very nice remote draw crown with the track there by MC, who, as you said, is their new addition to the starting lineup. And, you know, I mean, Team Serenity still has a chance to make the safe room, but not with the kind of bonus that they might have wanted, especially coming out of that tank with so many points.
Yeah, now they do have a pretty good hit for the side of HCP. Boomer gets a sneaky spawn, gets a double boom right there. Charger Spitter and a Smoker for the rest. No Horde really yet, all of it pretty much coming in from the front. They're probably going to wait for the health bonus to get close to that wall, then break it and go in. Or they're actually going to decide to send it from the front instead. Interesting call. Maybe they want the 3 cap, and then they're going to have to wait before the survivors outside, and they probably want to hit like right now, and Ellis is staring at that vent. So they know that's where the SI can probably spawn, but the charge is going to go in. Maggie gets ins cleared. Hunter is going to get shut down as well. There is an in cap on MC in the front, so that's going to be the end of the damage bonus, but still, Donnie with 93 permanent HP right now.
Yeah, definitely Donnie doing a very nice job at preserving his health bonus, and his team doing a great job at protecting him from the SI, and are able to at least, you know, get some kind of good bonus going in here, but they will be slow and they will have to take at least one more hit, depending on how much it lands on them. There will be a Boomer, Charger, Jockey, and a Hunter for this hit, trying to get that damage off of Donnie. He will be the #1 target. Boomer spawning up here isn't going to be able to land over top of that big pile of trash bags. Boomer is looking like it's going to get chipped down a little bit more. SI are looking like they're probably going to try to come in here. They actually managed to pop the Boomer on top of the alarms, so it looks like lesson not learned on Team Serenity's side. Donnie trying to sack his own health bonus, but there was an amazing speed onto the Jockey there. Charger got absolutely melted.
Hunter got hit by HCP.
Yeah, Hunter got instantly cleared, and, you know, regardless of the alarm from the HCM, they will walk into the safe room with a very solid bonus there of 278, and will continue to put the pressure on HCP.
XP to make the snap at this point, in my opinion. Like, that's the big part of it now, where, okay, they're behind by 2,000, pretty much 2,000 points, and that'll be 200 in aggregate, right? So now the question is, can they do what they weren't able to do in map 1 or map 2, and that is make that safe room? And yeah, I think Kissme's correct when he says they need to make each safe room in order to actually win this, because Serenity's got all that momentum on their side. And honestly, I mean, Serenity's point total right now isn't as big as HCP's was, but HCP's survivor play has not matched up to Serenity's actually on the North American server so far.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you say that they need to make all those save rooms and they need to make one with good bonus. That is only assuming, though, that Team Serenity makes all of the save rooms themselves. You know, the Team HCP will be making up enough distance points just by getting to the tank, I think, that they will still be in the lead even if they do get wiped. But I mean, yeah, it will be basically a tied game, but they need to, if they get wiped on the tank, then it will be essentially tied across the 2 games, and then they will need to match exactly what Team Serenity does. But they need to outplay them at least one time for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty good hit from Serenity at start. Spitter, Jockey, Charger, and a Smoker, everything going to be coming from up top. If HCP have a moment to perform, it would be right now, and they're going to bait this out. That's what I expect to see at this point, too, because they know they're in the situation that they are. Charger swung up on the side, though, going to get nicely shut down. Jockey getting cleared. Smoker is going to not land either. All zeros except for a little bit of spit damage. In K3, those shutdowns are what ATP needs to do on every single hit, in my opinion. If they, not even for sake of saying equalization or whatever, but if they want to win this game, if they play to that caliber every time, they are going to do just that.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, they definitely need that kind of Survivor performance because they showed what they're capable of on their home server, and they need to prove to us that, you know, okay, even though we're on our away server, we can still bring the heat, we can still bring that very strong Survivor play that we're known for, and start to rack up those points. And because they don't want to give Serenity the chance of winning this tournament, they want to just close it out right here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a team winning 2 games in a row against the other would be pretty big, especially in the same weekend. And that's a task that Serenity is going to need to do. But right now, that single boom does manage to land. They're going to try to start this event soon, I'm pretty sure. Purple going for it right now. Jockey spawning on the right-hand side, outside actually. Getting the charge onto him, but he actually does get cleared right away. There is spit damage on top of that, and the Jockey managed to crawl back up the vent. They have not yet closed that gate. Looks as though Coach is going for it right now. Jockey is going to win, almost dragging him outside too, but they managed to get that clear right away. Now there is a smoker pull in the spawn queue for Donnie right here. Purple working his way on that button, but he's going to get trolled once again, not able to complete it in K3. You talked about this.
Yeah, I shoot it, but I mean, they are doing a good job at not taking too much damage during this. This is still quite a bit, though. This Charger is going to actually land on Dusty's head, nicely blocked by him. They will finally get the door closed, not after taking a pretty solid amount of damage, but I mean, that certainly could have been a lot worse.
Really could have, and now the thing is, they did not get double charged there and or separated, so now HCP can kill a hit right here, keep everybody just kind of zoning on their positioning, and when they do that, then the SI are going to have a much harder chance of landing those multi-caps unless they get some kind of stumble. So expect them just to stand in this area, kind of the same distance apart from each other, and then look in each direction. We're going to have that Hunter sprung up on the side right there. There's a Smoker tongue getting cut, but there is a stumble going out. As I mentioned, almost a 3-cap. Jockey spit going out onto Supra, and then there's a pull as well. That was a great hit going out. I said that zoning would work unless they got stumble, and that's exactly what happened to them.
Very much so. And like, you look at the damage spread now, and it's very huge. Supra did find an extra set of pills there, which will help out a little bit. But pretty much all the survivors are at that point where they're going to be about 3 punches from the tank in order to be encapped. So, you know, this puts them in a slightly dangerous position for sure to fight this tank. And they need to prevent themselves from getting cornered too early on. In fact, they do have another hit going in here. A triple charge going in. Oh no, the spit must have gotten blocked by Nick while he was getting double charged. That was an amazing charge going out by the survivors, or onto the survivors. And I mean, I guess that spit just somehow didn't connect. That would have been absolutely devastating. And they keep finding more sets of pills, it looks like. And now the survivors are looking to shut down this tank because ACB really needs that. They need some kind of big play on this tank right now.
That spit not landing is an honest godsend right there. That smoker spawns in the front. Boomer, Jockey, and a Hunter, and the tank is in the hands of Miro. Boomer did get popped. So now Miro is going to work his way. Can he actually commit from the back? I don't think he can.
I don't think so.
Oh, maybe he can. I think that wall might be breakable. Maybe not, but he's trying to throw a rock through the wall. I haven't seen that before, but I'm confused as to what's going on there. Maybe it was supposed to be breakable or something like that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the last game, it looked like there was another one that would look breakable, but it wasn't. But we do have Miro committing right here. He is getting mowed down by these shotguns, not finding anything yet. He's not finding that corner at all. He's whipping his punches. He finally gets a punch onto Supra, but Supra has a lot of health and permanent health. In temporary left. Miro is almost dead. Hunter finally lands with the support.
With that punch too, he's dead!
Oh, wow, and HCP, as we said, they pretty much need to shut down that tank. That just about happens. No incaps going out there. Miro getting juked out by the survivors quite a bit. They shut down pretty much all the support, and Miro had next to nothing to work with. Very nicely done by Team HCP. That's the kind of survivor play that they need to continue to uphold if they want to take this match and the tournament.
Yeah, that's exactly what they need. Now they need to shut down these hits, but they actually have a Jockey going out. They do manage to clear it. There's a little bit of spit damage. Charger gets a punch as well into Supra, but if they can make the station with this bonus, that is what they need. And Dusty's running around in the front right now. They are bleeding out. There's 4 of them bleeding, but they still have 3 with permanent health. And as these sounds continue just kind of pouring in from our lovely Dead Before Dawn map. If they can hold this position and kill everything, that's what they need.
Yeah, they sure do. I mean, the survivor play on this map so far has been very impressive, and just showing, like, trying to prove us wrong when we said that, oh, it's going to be so difficult for them to be able to have the same kind of survivor play. And another
double charge.
Huge double charge though going out here. That was almost a tri-cap happening, and Supra finally getting in cap. That's going to take a lot of their damage bonus away, and it actually just dropped. Very similar situation to what happened to Serenity, actually, where they had like about a 600 point bonus, and then a lot of damage going out onto the damage bonus, and it just sinks down by a ton. And now they're gonna have 3 permanently slow for the rest of this map, and it's gonna be very difficult to not take a lot of damage during these next hits.
I also have a lower bonus right now than Serenity made the safe room with, I'd also like to point out. Hunter going in, trying to make a lot of distractions. There's a pull going out on a purple separate on the left-hand side. Almost an in-cap. It is going to be an in-cap going on a purple. And this is just more damage that ATP is taking. There's not... I don't think they're really positioned correctly at this point, right? Because purple was separated from the rest of his team at that point. Nobody could clear him. But now they are going to be able to get through here. They need to make the safe room with this. Like, this is pretty much what they need to do. Like, they don't have anybody black and white yet. Supra and purple both taking an in-cap. Bravo still has a little bit of permanent HP, but they need to kill this witch and then just have nothing else go on. They're actually friendly firing each other right there just a little bit. Hunter and Jockey from the front. Witch is going in. Double charge lands. The witch is going to get an in-cap onto that. Spit going down. Hunter stuck. Has another in-cap on himself. The ending on the Supra. Purple is the last survivor up. And he has... what, 9 HP, gets the pick right there. He's going to be able to pick them up, but this is not what they need. This is not what they need.
Their bonus is gone. Yeah, their bonus is literally only residing in the pills that they're about to pop. They're going to have people, they're going to have super black and white, everybody on 1 cap bleeding out. They've lost all their bonus now. This is exactly what they needed to avoid. And you looked at the way they took that event, and usually that's like one of the easier events to take in this map, and they took so much damage during it. We do have the tick going in here. Smoker's going to try to get that pull in the back. He's going to land, but Jockey's going to get shut down. So not a whole lot doing there on that hit, which is the kind of shutdown that they needed to do on the event. But on that relatively easy event, they took a lot of damage from the SI, and just depleted their bonus to the point where now Team Serenity can just kind of pick away at them and try to secure this wipe.
Yeah, and I mean, now it's going to come down to this tank next chapter as well, and in the course of this map so far, I think it's going to be Supra's tank, and that hasn't been a surefire even on the home server right here. He's going to need to do work. Smoker Pull trying to find something in the back, but actually does manage to land onto Dusty with a spinner spawning for some Seth, and that's going to be almost a death going out, but it did not finish right there. I mean, that could have been a kill on a purple too with that Jockey in the front. Dusty's at 3 HP, Bravo's at 1 HP, and now they're just working very far. They're limping here. It's going to be so close by the time they round this corner. They are actually going to elect to down someone there, and they are going to be splitting up as well just a little bit. So there's 3 survivors black and white. Smoker, Boomer, Hunter, and a Spirit. So it's a 2-2. Smoker spawning up, getting the pull right there. That's the in-cap. Now it's going to be 4 survivors black and white, and the Smoker still has a charge, and the Boomer died. So I don't know. This is going to be Supra 50 HP, purple at 5.
I mean, they're just trying to get any kind of points that they can now, which is just literally only distance at this point. And I mean, like, I'm thinking the tank next chapter is going to be absolutely crucial. Like, there could not be a higher stakes tank fight possible in competitive Left 4 Dead 2 than what we're going to be seeing next chapter. It's going to be an absolute huge fight. Supra is going to get pulled there. They do secure the kill out onto purple with that charger punch. Hunter is going to land out onto Bravo, but he gets cleared, and it looks like the survivors will be walking into the safe room with 0 bonus whatsoever, but just getting this last little tiny bit of distance, which they absolutely need. They need everything they can muster at this point.
Yeah, every single point they're going to get here is going to help them. The Smoker is going to try to drop down and troll one final time. Not going to land, though. And that is technically a safe room made, not with 4 survivors. They did manage to make the map 2,920 to 1,572.
Yeah, but the score differential continues to open up. As Kissme now put in chat, 400-point difference between these two teams. And Team Serenity has closed the gap by more than 400 points every single chapter. Including, or I guess excluding this one where they made it with a little bit less than that. And so, like, Team HCB needs to make something different happen right now. Otherwise, they are going to lose this game.
Yeah, it's 471 points separating the two teams right here. And, you know, this is the point now where, again, HCP is going to have to just... Yeah, they have to buckle down and do something at this tank. That's what's really important, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's a lot of damage potential on this first hit, and there is a lot of damage potential along a lot of the hits throughout this map, and as well as the finale. But, you know, this right here, this map is going to, I think, could be the really big difference maker, because we saw what can happen on the finale, and like the crazy stuff that can happen with that. And it's such a wild card, and you know they don't want to leave it up to random happenstance and crazy things that might occur during the finale. They want to be able to safely seal things up as soon as possible.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, if they get the wipe here and then they make, like, maybe not even the safe room, but if they get a good amount of distance, that would be what they need. And right here, like, again, it's Supra's tank that's going to be down to, and then for Team Serenity, it's going to be MC, who's another very strong tank. You know, and again, Supra's tanks, they left a little something to be desired on the last game, and this is his chance to really reverse that, I would say, you know. And it really is going to depend on him getting that initial corner and then just trying to find a way for the SI support to capitalize on that, because that's what HCP likes to do. That's the quote-unquote, you know, right way to do it, in terms of after you get that corner and then you work your way back to make it a 4-on-3 situation with the tank and 3 other SI trying to secure that wipe. And he needs to do that here, if nowhere else. Because like you mentioned, this is, I don't think I'm trying to remember exactly when I've seen a tank of this level, this stature, you know, of this importance that you need to do well on. And this tank, the tank that Serenity's going to play, and then the 2 tanks on Finale, there is no tank, I don't think, that I've seen that has any more pressure on it than those.
The 1 tank on Finale.
Yeah, right. Well, 2 because 1 for each team, but yeah.
Right, yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, the stakes are absolutely at their highest now. $2,100 and a lot of Left 4 Dead 2 glory, so to speak, on the line here. Bragging rights for quite a long time to come.
Forever.
This is the largest Left 4 Dead 2 tournament we've had in an extremely long time. Certainly during my time playing this on PC at least. And we do have the hit coming in here. Charger is going to miss that charge as it does get shut down. Spate went down on top of that jock for a little bit of damage, and Smoker got killed off too. So very nicely shut down for the most part by Team Serenity, and they are going to be blitzing it through the rest of this map. They do not want to take any damage going up towards this tank, and they certainly don't want to be shooting any ATMs either. They're just going to be powering through it.
Yeah, indeed, it looks as though Miro is finding his way forward right here. They're going to have another hit to deal with. And yeah, it's going to be a tank where they can kite around the kiosk area again. And Jockey Boomer Smoker Charger right here could be pretty good to send beforehand. Indeed, they do get a single boom out, but they do stumble the Smoker right there. Charger is not going to be able to find much of anything, but now does manage to find a single charge with a pound, actually, onto MC.
Yeah, and if you look at last game, when even with the ATM on this tank, like, that summoned so much horde, the survivors were able to actually still take the tank pretty well, not take a ton of damage. So just showing that this is actually quite a difficult tank to do a lot of damage with, but it's so crucial that they do something with it right now. So how about we go over to the ACP war room as Supra's already pushing up.
Yeah, go.
Oh, we should help him early this horde.
Let's go.
Super.
I'm fucking him too.
How are these not winning?
What the fuck?
I don't understand. Like, they're point blank. I'm right.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, the same problems which we saw on the last server with Supra's tanks repeating themselves here. 2 punches, K3.
Reloading.
Yeah, and like, it seems like no team is learning anything from their last games. Like Donnie shooting the ATM alarm, which could have been crucially bad for them, as there is an extra movement, a bit of spit going on, and that which got completely shut down by MC. But yeah, an ATM alarm that could have been really bad for them. But I mean, Supra, I guess a little bit of a misplay, missing a couple punches, and that could definitely come back to haunt them, as Team Serenity sitting at an over 1,000 bonus right now at 50% of the way through the map with no witch or tank to deal with. And this is crunch time. This is Serenity's chance to make everything happen. But there is a huge spit hit going in here. 2-cap landing. There's a lot of damage going out onto MC there. That does lower their bonus.
Helps.
Yeah, that lowers their bonus by almost 200 points, so to speak. And, you know, they need a lot more hits exactly like that if they want to be able to take this game, because that tank resulted in exactly the situation that ACP did not want.
Exactly, yeah. Now Serenity's still rolling with that. They're going to have this corner over here. Maybe the ladder chokes here was something that would really help HCP out. They do have a spitter. Smoker is going to miss that pull. Spit's going to go in, landing on the top there, managing to knock Donnie off the side. Hunter lands, Smoker lands, but everything very quickly cleared. And they really need to, I would say, not put their bets on that ladder choke or whatever, but just like, they need to do a lot of damage there, and really Miro and Thug still, since the damage bonus is opened up, but health bonus is still 75% of the aggregate, they need to focus on hitting those two and getting that permanent HP down from where it is right now, because Thug has 89, Miro has 79.
Definitely. And we learned last game that in that very small little room where it seems like Spit is extremely deadly, the Spit does not actually do damage in there, as map creators thought that it would be slightly unfair, or I guess they noticed in the patch that teams died there a lot to Spit, and say, hey, we probably want to patch this up and not have Spit be such a powerful presence in this little room. So that choke point is kind of moot for them at this point, and now they're going to have to rely on just a couple of hits, including this one on the scaffolding right here. Team ACP does have a strong setup, and they're not going to risk wasting any of it, and they're just going to go for this choke point hit right off the bat.
Yeah, and I think that's the right call, honestly, because there's still going to be a little bit of common trickling in and a little bit of a position for the survivors to have to deal with, but I think survivors also realize that HCP are not going to take any chances with this. They're going to go for the big play, and that's honestly what they need at this point. You hate to talk about it in those like regards, but this is definitely the part now where it's going to become, you know, vital for HCP to do something here. Miro leading with his health bonus. They want the Charger and the Spare to come from the back. They have a Jockey and a Smoker for the other two. And looks as though now they're trying to get a block on that. Miro's moving to the side. And if they're going to send Donnie last, that would be an in-cap that they need. But like I said, the two targets that they really want to look for are Coach and Nick right now, because those are the ones who have the largest amount of health bonus. They're getting a baiting timer now too. Miro moving his way to the vent on the right-hand side. Looks as though they're still waiting for that last survivor to come up. Miro is just kind of chilling in the vent up there now. Here comes the attack. Smoker pull not going to land, but they do get the down onto Donnie. Spit goes down on top of that as well. Smoker pull goes out onto Thug Life. I would say that they were looking for a little bit more than that, though, K3.
They were looking for a lot more than that, I think. You know, they probably assumed that Donnie was going to get in-cap there just because they realized that by sending him last. They put Miguro, who is probably the most important health bonus, up in the front because, you know, they wanted to preserve that so badly. Then there was no fall damage from the smoke that went out onto Thug, and, you know, nothing happening at all to the damage bonus. The damage bonus is still sitting at 87%. And, you know, things are not looking good for HCP, and they need something big, and they need it fast.
They are outside here. There's the pounce landing. Spit's going out onto Miro, and he is going to take damage from that, but that's not what they were looking for. Obviously, the hit landing is good for them, but now Team Serenity are going to be able to motor their way on through this, and this is going to put a lot of pressure on HCP, in my opinion, to match this. If they don't match this, this is going to be Serenity taking the series.
Most likely, yes. I mean, we saw that something insane could happen on the finale. Like, you know, if you looked at, like, both teams nearly made it in with almost 1,000-point bonus both times, barring extremely, really crazy last-second hits for both sides that prevented that from happening. But we've seen that it is possible for both home and away teams. But Team ACP trying to stop this health bonus right now. Charger is going to miss and get shut down. Hunt does land with the spin on top of it. That is going to hit the damage bonus, which is going to deplete their points a lot. There was a Jockey that landed for a little bit. That does deplete their bonus by a little bit over 100 points, but now I think that's going to be all that they're going to get, except for maybe one last scattered hit.
Yeah, Serenity are pushing their way far, and this is exactly what they need. And it looks as though they are going to make it before that next hit is even up. Smoker is up, maybe going to try to get a last-second pull, but it's not going to work. There's the save room for Serenity, 4,256 points so far from them in this game. That's a 2,700-point advantage. HCP needs to perform on this map. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They need to do something on this map right here, because if they don't, if they get wiped at that tank by MC, it's going to be virtually impossible for them to make a comeback. There is, of course, the tank on finale, but with the way the game's been going so far, this is exactly what Serenity wants.
Yeah, if there was a time to perform as Survivor on an away server, it's right now. You know, like, there's so many times where I've seen teams, you know, win on their away server but they can't. ACB doesn't need to play on the caliber where they win on their away server. They need to play on the caliber where they dominate on their away server. They need to just bring it all right now. They need to outplay their opponents and like forget about the pin difference and realize, hey, we can do this. We've proven to ourselves and we've proven to the world that we can do this time and time again. And now it's time to bring the heat. We have the hit coming in right now. Charger is going to come in. Is actually going to land onto Coach. The spin does get blocked though. Spin up. I think the spin got picked before it could do anything. That's going to be only 11 damage points going out onto the survivors, and that's the kind of shutdown that they need to do. Every single hit. They can't let anything more than that happen to them.
Kissme saying in before pace change, I can agree with that, because now look at this. I mean, HCP are going to start motoring their way forward once again, and there might not be, actually there is another charge spit in the spawn queue right here, which they might be walking into here. Boomer's going up on the right hand side, double boom does manage to land. Charter and Jockey both in for the front, Charter lands in the corner, Jockey is not going to land though, spit does go down on top of Supra, who can't jump on that trash can either. That's almost 40 damage going on to him, 57 HP is what he's down to right now after those first 2 hits. And stuff like that, I think the open areas are going to help HCP more, but they cannot afford to eat damage like that.
Absolutely not. And you know, Supra, I mean, it's obviously not his fault that he didn't know that the trash can could be stepped on, but he does take a little bit more damage than he should have, just by trying to step onto that trash can. There's a boomer.
Hey, so Boomer's next to the ATM.
They're trying to set off the ATM, but thankfully not popping the boomer by the ATM this time. That's definitely not what I wanted to see. And now, honestly, this is so crucial. I would like to hear an ACP war for the survivor side.
Do it!
That or just don't be anywhere near him. Those are your 2 options.
If he's not anywhere near you, actually just fucking pop.
Yeah, I'll just see what it does. How the situation. Careful, you're alone, does.
I'm with you.
We should chip him when he's coming in.
I'm with you.
Yeah, you guys should. 3 people front right, chip them.
ATM start it.
Thank you.
I'm down.
Thanks, chasing me, because I'm Bravo now.
I'm in the corner.
What the fuck? This common.
Smoker.
Oh.
I got the jacket.
Where the
smoker.
fuck that
Get the
fucking
smoker.
comment come from? What the fuck, dude? I hate this game.
Hey y'all, I need some help. Okay, it's gonna last for a bit.
What are you doing?
Pick them up.
Let's go, on your feet, let's go.
You're
He's
gonna
gonna
kill
get
him.
Hunter's on me.
Hunter on Ellen.
Gotta push tank. Come for me.
Got picked up right into a rock. Cool.
Come for me.
Just got him.
Ouch.
Dead.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. That's the kill on the Dusty, and Team Serenity have gotten all the momentum on their side. The tournament's #1 seed, Supra to shot no arm. This could be a wipe K3.
This is looking like it. I mean, I don't see how they're gonna make the safe room at this point. You saw it with that tank. Like they just got too separated. That's just the name of the game. They got too separated, and then when they were backing up, I think Dusty got caught on 1 comment on his way back.
They filled the witch crown. That's a wipe.
That's a wipe. That is it. That's actually over. Amazing, just absolutely outstanding SI play by Team Serenity, securing the wipe onto Team HCP, and now they're, as Kissme says, they're 400 points down to Team Serenity going into the finale, and they need to outperform them by a significant margin on the finale if they want to be able to take this and take this tournament before playing a second set. But it's not looking like that. It's not looking very good for them right now. Just outstanding play and capitalization on every single part. That tank by MC really coming in clutch.
Okay, so let's see. They have to now. If hold on, let me actually get the tank spawns.
Grabbing the driver.
Yeah, I mean, right now they need to, like, if ATP wants to win this here, right, and not take this to another game, they need to kill Serenity at this tank and then make the safe room, which we saw them pretty much do. Yeah, 600 points, right, we saw them pretty much do that, but still, at this point now, like, I don't know, it's been so one-sided in favor of Serenity on this server. That comeback would be, like, That is something they would write about for years if Left 4 Dead 2 actually had like a scribe or something like that. But the point is that now with this delta that they've got, it's 2,358 points minus 1,819. So they're behind 539 points going into this finale. So that's the magic number. But that tank is really what's gonna make it happen or break it for HCP right now. And I mean, they can do it, and then their survivor is going to need to do what they did the last time. But I think Serenity is in position to take this.
It sure is, and you know, that could just mean that we're in for a lot more Left 4 Dead 2. We have the Charger landing inside the spit there. That's a very big opening hit for Team Serenity. They landed a lot of damage there. That's the kind of thing that they need to do. They need to do that several more times, I think. They need to do that every single hit leading up to the tank, as well as during the tank, if they want to be able to take this. They need to play their absolute all. And I know I said that last time, but I mean it. It sounded like I meant it a lot then, but I mean it even more now, that they need to bring absolutely everything to the table now, because everything just fell apart for Team HCP during that tank on the last round.
Yeah, it's going to be a Boomer, Charter, Smoker, and a Jockey for the next hit here for HCP. And Serenity, again, they have all that momentum. They don't have to go into the sliding doors. Boomer's going to get popped right there by Muro. And now the Charger, Smoker, and Jockey are the last thing that pretty much separates Serenity from starting this event. They're sending the hit. Smoker gets killed. Charger gets leveled. This is exactly what you expect to see out of a tournament's #1 seed.
Most certainly is, you know, showing that they've deserved to get this far. That, you know, there's a reason that they're in the grand finals of the Bleed Out tournament at such a high level, and that they're, you know, that they deserve to make it this far, and that, you know, we're going to earn this money and this glory, you know, so to speak, if there is such thing as Left 4 Dead 2 glory. And I think in this case there certainly is, if you're going to win a game that's been so amazingly like back and forth and such high caliber this whole time.
Yeah, now, I mean, this event's going to get started. They're at 43% right here. And so they maybe have 2 more hits to take, maybe 3 before they get to that tank. Spitter, Smoker, Boomer, and a Hunter. Yeah, if they want a chance, they need a wipe. Exactly. Boomer gets popped. Hunter's going to go in, managing to get Uzi down by Donnie. A little bit of spit damage goes out. Smoker gets cleared. That should open the gate for Serenity to push their way through right here.
And I would tell you, there's nothing more hype than a bracket reset situation.
Yeah, right.
This, if Serenity wins this, Team HCP will be knocked into the losers bracket, where they will need to be taken out again. Where, I mean, Team Serenity is already in the losers bracket from losing before. So, you know, this could even out the playing field and send them to one final game, which will be very entertaining to see. We see a very nice arc boom landing onto 2 of the survivors there. Looks like the hit's gonna try to come in on this. Hunter is still just delaying them for a bit, but they do have the hit coming in now. Hunter is trying to get his way in. Is going to land on the survivors there. The amazing tri-cap landing onto the survivors. They gets cleared very quickly though. Very nice clears going up by the survivors. That could have been devastating, but they managed to mitigate a lot of the damage.
Indeed, and now we are going to see them pushing closer and closer to that all-important tank. They're going to jump into the room right here, get their good weapons, and now work their way over to the right-hand side. There is an alarm card right there? Yes, there is, but nobody touched it, so that's good for Team Serenity. They're going to push their way up this alley. The tank music should be starting right now, and indeed it is. Spit's going to go down in the front. Charger, Hunter, and a Smoker. I don't know who the tank is going to be, K3, but I mean, whoever it is going to need to do work with those hitables.
Yeah, and by the way, Miro popped his pills thinking that there would be more pills in the ammo room, but he was wrong. They only found 1 set. Regardless of that, tank is going to be spawning up here in a second. They are looking for this full forward. I'm guessing that it's probably going to be a Bravo tank, judging by the way that they're sending in that SI. Survivors are now pushing up here, looking to spawn this tank up. Tank is now spawned up in the hands of Dr. Bravo himself. The game is in his hands. Let's go to that war room.
Oh!
What?
Yeah.
Just
wait for the...
nice. No. He told. Behind you.
You guys gotta go.
There.
No.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. The tank is dead. Serenity is on their feet, and we are looking at a bracket reset, ladies and gentlemen. That tank is dead. They needed a wipe there to have a chance on the side of HCP. Bravo went in. He got a couple punches initially, but then the rest, he wasn't able to get that lockup. Once again, plaguing Team HCP. And unless Serenity spontaneously combust right here, we are going to be seeing you once again for a game between these two all-star teams. We have a Pound Spit landing in the front, Boom landed as well, a little bit of someone else onto MC, but they are about to eclipse that 5K mark. They're going to go up by 3,100 points right here before they've even gotten to the escape vehicle, and barring some kind of catastrophic death or some kind of, I don't know, like truck running everyone over for insta-kills, it's a bracket reset, K3.
It absolutely is. There's no other situation that could happen. You know, when you're playing against a team like this, mathematics goes out the door. I've always been a fan of trying to play the numbers and say, oh, hey, you know, it's possible, it's mathematically possible. But when you're playing against a team like Serenity and you're down by this much and you need to make like a 100% bonus in the safe room, it's just not going to happen. It's just unheard of in this game. Never has, and I don't think ever will be happening in this game. And you know, you just see Serenity continuing to make these shutdowns. Truck has now arrived. This is the last ditch effort for Team ACB. They are landing a couple of small caps, but it's not really doing enough damage. Team Serenity will be walking in. They're all fast. They're going to be making it into the safe room with, it looks like, a 550 health bonus, which, you know, that's just too much. That's too much for Team ACB to come back from.
Indeed it is. Now the question will be, what map is Team... I bet you it's Dark Carnival. I highly predict that it's going to be Dark Carnival for whenever this game gets played. It could be tomorrow, it could be in a week. We'll see what the teams want to do upon the conclusion of this Grand Finals Game 1 match. I can say Game 1 looks like we're going to be going to a Series 2. Serenity coming from that lower bracket, annihilating another hit. They were the #1 seed, entering the bracket stages from the Swiss stages of the tournament, and they are chasing this truck all the way into another matchup to play against HCP. Right, winner take all. The next time they play, it is over. This game right here in front of it is over.
I mean, just I'm pressing tab and I'm just in shock. Like I thought that HCP outplayed Serenity so well on their home server, but this is just a whole nother story here. This is unheard of in a grand final. It's like, when has this last happened? Maybe NV against some kind of like team back in the day may have.
There's never been a grand final series this good.
Yeah, may have put on some kind of performance, but in the actual grand finals themselves, we've never seen anything, quite this back and forth and high caliber before, I don't think. This is just such a pleasure to watch, and I'm honestly quite excited that we're going to be going to another match and but get to see a lot more of this play.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I predict it's going to be Dark Carnival, which is actually how the tournament started. I have a huge smile on my face right now. Serenity just... the way that Serenity's turned this around is similar to what HCP did to them the last time they met. Now the question is, who is going to take that victory when that game is played? And like I said, I don't know exactly when it's going to be, but it's going to be a series for the ages. Spitter, Jockey, Charger going in right here. Nothing really landing, but again, it's kind of a moot point. HCP are out of it.
Yeah, at this point, they're just playing to show that their prowess is still there and that they're not going to get disheartened. They need to keep their composure. They need to recollect themselves for the next match, because when that happens, they can't go in potentially bickering with each other. They can't go in with the mindset that, oh, we got destroyed. We have to go in with the mindset that we've done it before, we can do it again, and we're going to do it again. And against a team like Serenity, you need that. With this hit coming in right here, there is a very nice hit going in here. Supra is stuck in the spit. He takes almost 50 points of damage. Smoker goes out to Bravo and is still not getting cleared. That's a lot more damage going on to him. And it's just going to add insult to injury, especially if they get wiped at this tank. And at this point, they just need to collect their egos.
Yeah, they really need to. I mean, and at this point, as they start moving their way forward, they've just only broken that 2K mark. Serenity scored 3,000 points, over 3,000 points on the last server, and that's been the difference right here, is that away play on the Survivor side, and HCPs have not been able to do it. It's just, I don't know what exactly it's been, but Serenity's played outstanding on this home server. Probably the best home server performance we've seen, eclipsing what HCP did to them, when they played on Hard Rain Downpour. We do have a single boom going out, Charger, Hunter, and a Spitter for the arrest right here, and they're probably going to save it to see where HCP holds this out.
Yeah, I'm trying to add it up in my head, and if I'm thinking of, like the score that Team Serenity had last game, we're looking at maybe a combination of 9,000 points between two maps. 9,000 is between two campaigns is absolutely ludicrous. That's insane, especially if one of those games is away. And this hit coming in here isn't going to do a whole lot. It looks like Hunter is going to land for a little bit, and Charger did whiff. Spit went down on nothing on top of that, with a very meme-worthy health bonus right now for the survivors.
Yeah, and I mean, this upcoming matchup is going to be the 4th time that these teams have played a series in this tournament. Like, I just want to mention that the first one, you know, Pacify taken by Serenity in the Swiss stages. Second one taken by ATP in the grand finals of the winners bracket. And now in the first game of the grand finals, Serenity has turned it back around and just come at them with everything they had. And they have won this matchup here today, you know, and I cannot wait to see what the map choice is, number one, and then how that goes. If it could be played tomorrow, I would be really happy with that, because it's Sunday, you know. But they might want a week to practice. We'll see exactly what they want. Single Boom going out, Smoker, Spitter, and Jockey for the rest.
Yeah, I'm just going to point out that their health bonus is late, and their percentage is 69% health bonus.
Oh my
god.
god.
I think that's just kind of funny.
Oh! Thank you, K3. Thank you for pointing that out.
But yeah, no, I hope that it's soon too, because I'm going out of town this Friday, and I would love to be able to come back to cast this again. Although I do believe that it would be quite poetic if your tournament organizer Kissme did take the reins once again, to come back and cast this final match for us. We do have this kick going right here. There is a Spit landing on top of this Hunter, and Jockey landing on top of another survivor. This is a decent amount of damage going out, but not, you know, a ton. I'm starting to think, is there a glitch with the pills on this map? Because I think Team Serenity only found 1 set of pills in the ammo room, and it looks like Team ACP found 3.
Not entirely sure, but again, it's kind of just like a little consolation prize at this point, I guess, because they found a couple more sets of pills, but they couldn't find a couple more tank punches that they needed to actually try to win this game. Unfortunately now, for Team HCP, the tank is up in the hands of Donnie for Team Serenity, and there still is a lot of work potential that could go here. They know they've already won, but they want to win it in style. There's a single boom going out, and I don't think the tank's going to commit on that. HCP is going to do the same thing they did last time, kind of chilling in those alcoves.
Yeah, there's no rush. You know, at this point, Serenity is just kind of basking in their victory, and you just want to, as you said, seal it up with a little bit of style and hopefully claim the wipe here. They kind of want to get this over with and start moving on and get their practicing going for whatever the next match is going to be. And honestly, they've earned it. They've played so well, and they're going to earn this victory. But we do have this tank up in the hands of Donnie. Might as well keep it here, because there probably wouldn't be much to hear from the HCP war room at this point. Most teams usually fall dead silent around now.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know if it's still even mathematically possible or not, but Supra has paused the game. I don't know, maybe that's what they're trying to figure out, where it's like they take literally no damage at this, they might be able to win, but I don't even think that's the case anymore.
Yeah, I'm looking at it like, what, 1,800 points, plus that, plus like, I don't think, yeah, we will need a map pick, because Team HCP were the victors of the upper bracket, they will get their choice of what map is played from for the final game of this tournament. However, it does need to be chosen from the pool of maps that have already been played. So, you know, Undead Zone, that's in the map pool. Die Scraper Redux, that was played last week, also potential. Hard Rain Downpour, and as well as our classics such as, you know,
Dark Hardy, Hard Rain Parish.
Yep, or even Dead Center if they wanted to pull out like a wild
Crash
card.
Course. Actually, no, it has to be a map that was in the tournament, so they can't do Crash Course.
Pacifice is a possibility. They although Team Serenity did best them on Pacifice last time, so.
I highly doubt they would pick that one map, but I you know what? You could see also maybe like Death Toll or something. I don't know.
I mean, anything is possible. It's going to be a strategic pick for sure. They're going to try to pick whatever they think is best for them compared to not good for them for Team Serenity.
Questionable Ethics was technically in the map pool. They could definitely pull a wild card and make us sit through that for 5 hours or whatever it was going to be, but like I said, I highly expect they're going to pick Cardi. Like,
yeah, I mean,
it just feels right.
It would be poetic to end the Bleed Out tournament on Dark Carnival. You know, it's the very first map that started out this tournament. It's been the map that's been kind of the face of the Left 4 Dead 2 community for so long at this point. And, you know, I don't expect that any other map would really take precedence over it.
Right now, they could still win. I'm looking at Dusty's chat, actually, and apparently, like, there is, like, a slight chance that if this tank just does absolutely nothing, like, just stands there and dies to the face, then they could still win. But I think if it gets, like, a punch or 2 punches, it's over.
I mean, it's Team Serenity. Like, in my mind, I'm ready to close this out, and I have been ready to close this out since Team Serenity made the end of the finale last map. So, yeah, I mean, Team ACP proved me wrong. I honestly, I hope they watch this after they've taken a victory here, and they say, hey, we proved K3 wrong, we can do this, and we can actually pull out the victory from the total jaws of defeat and make the most amazing comeback in Left 4 Dead 2 history. But, I haven't seen it thus far, and it's going to be quite the challenge to see it now.
Yeah, and he's back, but he'll be stuck, so they're going to say you're going to look at him, so yeah, just give him sight, I guess. And then watch, they're going to turn around and kill the tank as he's standing there. That'd be kind of shitty, but we'll have Code stand there and give him sight for that time until... So a little bit of good sportsmanship coming out from these teams. Uh-oh, he's moved the spectators for LARP 100.
I mean, good sportsmanship is kind of required at this level of play. You, especially when you're playing teams this good, you owe them at least that kind of respect. So it's just nice to see that we're gonna end up this game with as little salt and as little problems as possible. But we do have this tank committing here.
Indeed, Tank's gonna go in, missing his first punch right there on the coach, turning his back around, gets a nice multi in the corner. Multi not gonna land again, but there's your in cap. Turning back around, getting the punch again. Hunter's gonna land, that's gonna be the wipe! Serenity are gonna wipe HCP on their home server. That's it, ladies and gentlemen, bracket reset. We are going to another series. 5,564 to 2,501. They beat them by 3,000 points on the European server.
I'm so excited right now. This has just been such an amazing set.
3,000 points, K3! 3,000!
It's just absolutely absurd. Like, what a set of matches. Like, I mean, Team ACP, did they outplay Team Serenity on their home server? Sure they did, by quite a significant margin. But boy oh boy, Team Serenity on their home server just brought a whole nother level of gameplay that, I knew Serenity was good, but holy smokes, did they just they brought the heat, and they brought their full force. They showed everybody exactly what they're capable of. And
the map for next week will be regular hard rain.
Okay.
Huh.
See, that's a solid map. We've seen that in a lot of grand finals and tournaments before. And I think it's a very balanced map, and it's definitely fun to watch. So, and especially with Ace Mod, without the water slowdown and all the different changes that have been done to the campaign, I've seen Team ACP play on Hard Rain, and that's definitely one of their specialty maps for sure.
Now, Hard Rain's an interesting choice because I would say that the RBT 3 Grand Finals was played on Hard Rain, right? And let me ask Donnie a question, because I want to figure out if they want to play tomorrow or they want a week to practice.
Yeah, it's pretty much up to them when they want to play. They're probably going to want to practice. I'm sure that HCP is probably going to want to, warm up on it a little bit too. I doubt either team really wants to just dry run it right into it this weekend, but possible. But yeah, that was actually really exciting. That was a hell of a turnaround by Serenity. That was literally a 5k plus point swing the other way, as you mentioned, Rails, from what we saw in the upper bracket finals. We saw now in the grand finals only the opposite way. So that was very, very interesting to see. Congratulations to Serenity for taking this first set of matches, and we will have the true grand finals sometime in the coming week, as these two teams will look to duke it out yet again on Hard Rain of all things.
And they have decided they will take the week to practice, so that means it's going to probably be sometime next weekend.
Indeed. So I would like to thank both of you for tuning in and helping cast this match for the channel. And do you guys have any final shots you'd like to give?
I don't believe I do.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a pleasure to cast this game. That was extremely entertaining to watch and have that front row seat to spectate it. Thank you very much to the community for allowing this kind of amazing tournament to happen. Thank you, Kissme, for organizing this amazing tournament and pooling in your efforts to have this all come together in such an amazing fashion. It's really wrapping up in such like a spectacular show, and it's really just a pleasure to watch.
Indeed. And with that being said, we will wait to see exactly when these teams will decide to schedule that second match. I mean, that was a hell of a series right there, and we'll see exactly who ends up the winner.
Definitely. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a good day, good night, good afternoon, wherever you guys are in the world. And we will see you guys next weekend with the final match of the Bleed Out tournament. End all be all. There is no next. See you guys then.